Hello everyone and welcome to this next episode of TrexTalk. Okay, so today we have somebody who has been in the industry for quite a while and his name is Matthew. So he'll be actually here with me to actually discuss on certain topics that you guys will be interested. So let's just do some introduction by Matthew. So welcome Matthew.
Hello, my name is Matthew. I'm in industry for 6 years. So focusing on residential and new projects.
Okay, so without any further ado, let's kickstart with the first question. So Johor Bahru Singapore RTS Link train will be completed and be operational by the end of 2026. And there's already news stating that Singaporeans are quickly snapping up residential units near to the RTS station. So the question over here is, will this new development actually affect the property prices in Singapore? I strongly believe it won't affect the property prices in Singapore. But in certain extent, maybe those around in the probably Woodlands area might get a little bit affected. But I don't see a drastic drop in terms of the prices for properties over there. It should be in the stagnant phase, like what is it now in the current existing market. Like for you, you go to JB, right? Frequently, right?
What do you mean by frequently?
Okay, like at least once a month, I believe so.
Around there.
Around there. Okay, so we also got friends, relatives who always travel there. But again, will more and more people actually stay there? I'm not really sure about that. And I don't seriously think so, because I think the traveling time itself actually will take up quite a fair bit. Of course, given this RTS Link train will make it much more convenient. At the end of the day, is whether the person itself find it really convenient to actually travel to and fro on a daily basis just to probably come here and work. So for Singaporeans, even like myself, I seldom even go into JB. So probably the percentage itself for people who travel will be actually quite little. Okay, I seriously don't think it will affect the property prices in Singapore. So what do you think?
Okay, for me, right, I think your question is, does this RTS gonna affect the prices in Singapore, correct? So my take is actually, I think it won't affect a lot, because if you know, right, to purchase a property in, let's just say JB as a foreigner, there's some restriction. So we have to buy at least a 1 mil property. Whereas compared to Malaysia, they buy maybe below 1 mil. But usually, I have friends with Malaysian, then we have talked about these RTS things, right? Got some issue because Malaysians don't usually buy condos.
Yes,
they buy their landed, correct? So people who are buying those 1 mil condos is based on restriction. And the philosophy of them buying this property is mostly maybe they want to stay there for retirement. But if you want to, even Malaysian, my friend, right? If I said, hey, you've got this RTS, right? You just buy somewhere near the causeway, then you can travel more conveniently to work, right? This comes to the point. Will the RTS be 24 hours?
I don't know.
You don't know, ma? So today we just use a normal like 12 p.m., 12 a.m. this type of closing time. You need to rush home. If you have meetings like late nights, then how? You cannot go home, eh?
Then you stay in Singapore with your parents already lah.
I mean, in Malaysia. So people who buy there maybe it's for retirement, holiday. But if you talk about commuting, right, I think it's still a lot of unknowns over there. And if you ask me, will I like go in, go out like that with uncertainty? I think I won't. I will still consider Singapore property as my home base. So restriction wise, right, today if you are buying 1 million, if you talk about investment, because sometimes you don't know who are the Singaporeans buying them. If they're buying based on investment, who's gonna buy their...
Exactly, I think it all boils down to who's going to be the next buyer who come to buy from you lah. Same as what happened in the... Is it Iskandar?
Yeah, basically if you buy 1 million, you want to sell 1.2, right? Those people who can buy 1.2 is again foreigner.
I think we'll be hanged already if you can sell 800,000. No
but
need
800
to sell 1 million.
Foreigner cannot buy, ma.
Huh?
Foreigner cannot buy 800.
Yeah.
So
okay.
And also we talk about the visa thing, the MM2H, my Malaysia second home. All these are all the restrictions in place to make the Malaysia property kind of hard to get in for foreigner for me. So technically, even if the exchange rate, all these things is tend to be cheaper, right? I think people will still favor convenient.
Okay, next question is, will it also affect the rental market in Singapore itself?
If you're Malaysian working in Singapore, I think it might affect because for them to go through all this, even now, right, I have friends that come out every day. It's quite smooth lah, but it's tiring, but it's doable because for them to go through the immigration is quite fast.
Okay.
They got special lane, all these things, quite easy. But it boils down to whether how many percentage were willing to sacrifice because not a lot. I have friends doing that, which I can see they can save a lot of money doing that. But I got friends that cannot do that because it's very tiring. So definitely this RTS will actually make the whole things more convenient for those group of people that come out every day.
Okay.
But who knows?
But I think in terms of the rental market, I mean, in my point of view, will be I don't really see it as a drastic drop as well, because percentage-wise, how much of the percentage of Malaysians who are actually working here are actually staying here? If for rental-wise, I don't think it will drop quite a fair bit because the landlord itself can find other profession to actually take over.
Not just Malaysian. In a way.
Correct. Not just Malaysian lah. Okay, so we move on over to the second question. So the extension from oversupply, will the Singapore property prices might come down or won't come down at all?
I think now we're actually experiencing a bit of oversupply because there's a lot of projects that TOP
The new development, okay?
all together at the same time because of COVID. Then suddenly we got Treasure that 2,002 unit, Riverfront, Affinity, Florence, all these are 1,004, 1,005 unit.
Yep.
Normanton 1,007 or 1,004, sorry, 1,004, 1,000.
Or probably more than that,
But all these mega projects coming together, right? So we're actually experiencing a lot of pressure in terms of oversupply. But actually, if you see the price actually come down, actually it's not come down. It's just that we are tapering. We are slowly moving on a straight line lah, except HDB lah.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I don't see the prices coming down, which also in terms that why government usually comes up with a lot of a cooling measure, is also an affirmation that the prices in fact are going upwards. Okay, but why cooling measure takes place is also in terms to actually allow the price to grow, to actually go up slowly instead of at a exponential fast pace that Singaporean cannot actually own something. So in fact, if you actually see cooling measure, it's always a good time to enter the market because it's also an affirmation that prices are going up and it's just at a slower pace from the government. So does it mean that it is a sure win situation to invest in Singapore properties?
Wow, if I tell you sure win,
I also hot already, right?
I think Singaporean no poor people already.
All very hot already.
Yeah, because I think certainly there are ways to what we do, right? I think there are certain keys method to find that let's just say not sure win, we take calculated risk. We try to minimize the risk as low as possible for our clients. Like the entry price, I think everyone know about entry price. Is the price point very safe to enter? Because today when you buy about new project, right, it's definitely more expensive than the resale.
Definitely.
These are the I always tell my client, 这个东西讲不完的。你讲旧便宜，我讲新的可以赚钱。
对。
Because
everybody like new.
Yeah, but when we turn back time, right? For example, we turn back to 2020, everything's so expensive on the new launch, right? It's like maybe a 400 to 500 per square foot gap between the newer resale. But what happened now? Still
go up higher,
and higher. Even the sub-sale are transacting in like, I mean, I got client that make exit with maybe a 400 per square foot per profit lah, in a way. So you have to believe in the fundamental because investment is you are banging something forward looking.
Correct.
You have to do the numbers, the sums, and whether you believe in this strategy. If you don't believe in this strategy of buying new that can make money, okay, sorry, not all new can make money. All new also can lose money.
Yes.
Then 没完没了的.
Yeah.
Because we will come into argument because there's no agreement. You don't believe, you are just fighting.
Yeah.
There's no sure win method. What I know that we take calculated risk, we minimize the risk as low as possible for the client.
Of course, I believe also there is no sure win methods because not all property in Singapore in fact make money. There are a lot of cases whereby we talk about resale property. If you were to buy in the year, example, the 2013, which was the peak, and if you were to sell off in the year 2016, 2017, which was at the one of the all-time low as well, you'll be actually making a loss. But if you are a person who been buying in 2013 and sold off like in the year 2021, then in fact you don't make a loss. You'll be in fact making a little bit of the profit. When the timing is right for you to actually move on from the existing one, then people really need to move on because it's all about timing when entering. So of course, when it comes to selection, I think that you have to enter at a low risk and look at the right exit price point to exit.
So another question which I asked my client this time round, I mean, because the market has peaked so much, right, for the last 2 to 3 years, right? So I asked him a question. So is the resale really cheap or cheap because they compare to new launch now? Because right now resale has gone up like...
Resale is not cheap now.
Yeah, it's gone up so much, but it still look relatively cheap if you compare to the newer project.
Of course.
But so when you enter now as a new... if you enter now as a resale, right?
Yeah.
You at the peak
Yes. So that also boils down to example today in 2024 you buy at the peak. What will happen to this example, this resale? Will it become at the price point of 2016 and 2017 down the road in 3 years time?
So
maybe got chance lah.
Yeah, so I always tell my clients that don't buy because it's cheap.
Yeah, correct.
Because sometimes when you look cheap, right? But you must understand that it has gone up so much. How much can you go? These are things that we go through when I talk to my client.
Yeah. So there's also one question whereby I think a lot of people like to know is how to actually spot certain kind of development that may lose or don't make money.
Okay. 可以讲吗这种东西？
可以讲，这是很 open 的吗？因为 to me is I usually don't sell anything that is small boutique development. Okay. Whether if it's like a freehold or 99 years, as long as it's a small boutique development, I usually don't recommend. Okay, unless the layout is really fantastic, which my client is buying for long-term stay. If anybody who is trying to buy for 3 years, hold 3 years, and then stay probably 1 year, 2 years, and they want to sell off, usually I don't recommend. Because for those smaller boutique development, okay, when there is no transaction being transacted or sold, right, the prices of the property won't be pushed up. It will be forever remain stagnant. Okay, so when it remains stagnant, then the thing is that then why you are spending, wasting time putting in your hard-earned money as an investment in the property. Which also, like I mentioned, is that unless it is for own stay, you don't mind, then yes, we can go into that. Yeah. So this is the kind of a property which I usually don't recommend my client to buy.
你讲完了 so I totally agree with you, right? That first thing you must look at why people still buy boutique, why people still buy smaller development. It's because sometimes they do comparison. When there's both new, one boutique and one mega development, right? Sometimes the boutique costs cheaper. Right? Then they will say, it's cheaper, so I think I should, based on 3 bedroom, right? Then sometimes the boutique, the size bigger, I should go there. But we must go back to think, today, why are you buying that property? If you are talking to buy that property based on 2 to 3, after the SSD, 3 to 5, you want to let go to make a profit, then you need to be very conscious because number 2, that's come to transaction. Usually boutique, right? Very little transaction. So when there's very little transaction, right? It will cause a bit of confusion when it comes to going when you try to sell the property. When buyers come and see the place, then no transaction to follow. Then they follow the next door, all these things, right?
They follow the surrounding.
Then it's not very accurate.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes boutique development don't perform as well. Another thing is secondly, boutique and development you can buy because like I agree with you, you will buy for own stay. Look at long-term horizon. I think definitely when the prices start to catch up too much, right, then that's where you can exit lah.
Yeah, you have to let go in a certain way lah. Because
Yeah.
for boutique development, I think that price point wise, it won't go up like super high. Yeah, so in fact, if it does goes up already, when it's time to let go, you have to let go.
Yeah, so don't buy when it's cheap. Okay?
And another thing
When
is,
it's cheap.
importantly, I don't like, personally, I don't like boutique development is because also facilities is limited. And limited already, never mind. The maintenance fee is a killer. It can range up to like $400 or $500 a month. Yeah, so that is something that I personally don't like lah.
So actually, I got one boutique development. Then first I got one treasure. A treasure 4-bedroom maintenance fee is about 174 per month.
Then how about the boutique one?
My boutique 2-bed 2-bath is $404 per month.
Yeah, and then no facilities to use one.
One swimming pool.
Yeah, pathetic swimming pool.
But at least when people come and view, they are buying because of the freehold status lah.
Yeah, of course.
So beauty in the eyes of the beholder.
yes, I
Okay.
have to agree with that.